If you love art, then chances are you're going to be curious about the place where it's created. There's something about the romance of a studio, or maybe the bohemian lifestyle, that draws us in, which probably explains the popularity of the Eastside Culture Crawl. Sculptor David Robinson is one of the 300-plus artists participating this year. While he won't be opening his studio, unfortunately, because he's just got too much stuff in it to handle large crowds, he'll be opening his gallery with works in progress on display. But he was gracious enough to give us a tour of his workplace anyway, which is an incredible place. The minute you walk in, you can just sort of feel the energy. There's machines everywhere, dust flying, half-finished sculptures lying around, music playing. You just get the sense that something's going on, and you want to know what it is.
I mean, I guess it's something that is, it's not precisely mainstream. It's out of the ordinary. People that are living in, well, not too many living, but sort of working in a pretty alternate mode of life. And I think it's, I think in the sort of wash of digital and statistical and media-saturated culture, something that is local and handmade and comes from the voice and mind of a real sort of working person in your neighborhood. I think that has an appeal to people. Certainly over in this end of town, people are very engaged with culture at all kinds of, in all its manifestations. Occasionally I can walk around in the creative mode and I feel a bit naked in that moment, but it's a safe place to do that in. And if I physically need to, really seclude myself with a work, I can always build a wall.
The great thing about the Culture Crawl is you get to meet both established and emerging artists. Just one floor below David's studio is illustrator and painter Andrea Wan's neat and tidy nook. It's nothing like David's workplace. She's only had the studio for 3 months, and she shares it with 2 friends. Why do you think that is? She was working on a new painting at her wooden desk when we popped in. The painting was taped onto her desk, her paint palette next to her, and inks neatly lined up. The space is bright, cheerful, and orderly, which makes kind of sense when you see her work because it always feels sort of carefully painted with lots of detail.
That's kind of a dream, right? To get your own studio, and there's such a romance around the idea of artist studios. What do you think it is about having your studio space?
It's like here I share with other artists, and it's really a lively environment, and we can look at each other's drawing while we're working, and we're like always encouraging each other, and it makes us want to work harder, like when everyone's in a space.
And there are a lot of studios in this building. Do you get curious and do you want to go and see other artists' studios?
Yeah, actually I wander around a couple of times, and sometimes at night. I see people working here all the time. So
do you knock on doors and ask if you can be let in?
No, sometimes I'm shy, but sometimes when I paint over there, I open that door and some people were curious and they come in and chat with me. And
the Eastside Culture Crawl happens from November 18th to 20th, and it's held in 70 different buildings in East Vancouver.